Probably won't be able to hear me that much because the AC is on, so ignore all that if you can. I'm shaving or deleting my side markers, however you guys want to call that, but I went to Home Depot and got that fill foam thingy that's like yellow. You spray it and then it foams up and it just kind of makes like, you know, it kind of just covers everything up. I did that. I started cutting it off just to make it as like straight as possible with the bumper, and then I let it dry for like about 2-3 days, and and then I added Bondo in order to shave it all the way down to make it completely straight and smooth. I'll show you guys the other side right now. I just finished the passenger side. That was more like of a testing side, so it came out really good, so I'm going to keep it the way it is. And this side I'm going to show you guys basically what to do. I'll show you guys what I use for to fill it in. So this is what, oh, I lost it. This is what I use to fill it in. It's called crate stuff. You can get this from Home Depot. It's like $3 to $4. You simply kind of shake it up for like about 2 minutes, I believe. You spray it and then it comes out like some type of foam like this. Let me see if I can focus on it. There we go. It's like a little foam thing. Shut up! It's just a little foam thing to fill in holes and stuff like that. So I used that on the side marker, and then after that I added Bondo over it after I cut it down and shaped it. And on the passenger side I just finished, so I'll show you that. So hopefully you guys can hear me, but yeah, I used that stuff to fill this in, and then I just kind of sliced it down with a, you know, like a house knife, and right here just added Bondo to fix this little crack that I had here, but this is just regular Bondo. I added Bondo after to cover it up, and when I sand it down it will be basically straight, and that was pretty easy. Just got Bondo, mixed it up with the hardener, and just slapped it over. I was going to show you guys, but this is something you got to do kind of quick, and you can't let it dry up too fast before you lay it, or else you kind of ruin it. So yeah, I just added Bondo. I let it dry for about 2 days, and let me show you guys the passenger side how that came out. After I kind of just primered it black, it's still a little bit wet, so it looks pretty shiny still. Right here it had a big crack, like about, as you can see, like this little like fadeness. All this is cracked, so fix that. You can't really tell anymore. The fadiness is just because it's going over the Bondo. This is the other side mark. You can see that there's nothing there. You can probably still see like a little bit of a kind of like outline of it, but not really. Came out pretty decent. There's still some tiny little holes that I gotta fill in with more Bondo. So I'm gonna do that once the paint's dried up and sand it back down, so I can know where I missed it. But aside from that, it's really straight, and you can't tell that side markers were over there. Using 80 grit to sand it down. So now that I was done sanding it, this is after the primer. I forgot to film it when I was already done, but that took like about maybe 20 minutes to sand all the way down. Just gave it a quick little primer to get everything soft, and then once that dries up, I'm gonna hit it with the black and see how good it looks. If it still looks bad, I'm gonna add it more Bondo and fix it. But it looks pretty decent to me. Can't really tell that it's there. Yeah. So this is after the black is done. You can't really tell that anything was there. So that came out really good too. I also fixed a little piece right here that was messed up, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Just gonna prep it up later before paint, obviously, and then get everything else done. I still gotta cut the rear quarter panels and fix this little ugliness right here, but aside from that, we're gonna go on to doing the front calipers. They're already on, but I made a video for it so you guys can see it, so it should be coming up now. Alright, so we just finished putting the passenger side, the new calipers. Let me stop this music. A couple days ago I picked up, well actually yesterday, I picked up these 300ZX calipers with slotted rotors, pads, lines, everything. Except the rear. The rear only got the calipers, so I gotta buy new lines, new rotors, and new pads for the rear. But I just finished putting this one on. I actually just finished putting the line, so we still gotta bleed it. But I'm gonna show you guys how to do it on the driver's side. I want to see how this went first before I started filming. So they look pretty good. They're decent size, not compared to Cody's. He has big ass fucking CTSV calipers, so this is really nothing compared to his. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a better upgrade, I guess. Looks a little bit cooler.
Does look a lot cooler.
Yeah, so just got these on. I'll show you guys how to do the driver's side on. I'll show you guys how to do the driver's side one right now. Once I'm done with that side, I'm gonna bundle up these little side markers. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta bundle them up because I put that fill foam shit that you put in the walls to basically just give me like a better straight layer, so when I add Bondo it'd be a little bit easier to play with. So yeah, just got these done. It's been a couple days since I cut it already, so I was just ready for Bondo. Get it covered up, and I'm gonna start going with trimming down the bolts and bonding them up too. So yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. I'll show you guys how to do it, basically step by step, and the comparisons of the stock calipers to that. Step 1, remove the wheel. Step 2 is remove the old caliper. There's two 19 bolts, one on top and one on the bottom. Instead of just taking off piece by piece, you can just take off the whole caliper with the bracket and everything right away. So it's a 19, there's one on top, one on bottom. Take those off and the caliper should just come off right away. As you can see back here, there's one bolt right there, and there should be another one somewhere up here. You can take those two off and this will come off right away.
Brakes are nice, bro.
So you can remove the calipers and get those out the way. Quick tip, if your rotors are basically rusted on and you can't take them off, if they're too rusty, you can get a bolt in here, just tighten it up and it'll just pop them off. So I'll show you guys that in a bit. So you'll get a bolt like this. This is a 14mm bolt. You just put it in here, screw it in a little bit until it basically stops. You're gonna get either a size 14 wrench or a socket, whatever, and just keep tightening it. You just keep it going. It'll get hard, and that's when you know it's working. Just keep doing it. It's kind of hard doing it with one hand. You can see it's already off. It'll come off right away. And since the other rotors are a lot bigger, you have to chop all this off. I'm using a like a lock, those lock scissors that you can like cut off the locks and stuff like that. I'm using that to break it off, and I'll basically show you guys after it's done cutting off. I'm just cutting it from here and all the way down, so you can avoid any noise or screeching and stuff like that hitting the thing, because it's bigger too, so it's not going to fit over it. Yeah. Huh?
What are you putting?
This fucking metal piece, because it helps with the other rotors, because they're too...
Isn't it bolted out?
Huh?
Isn't it bolted out?
Yeah, but I gotta take out the... So now the dust shield is basically cut off all the way. There's still little stuff, so with all this, you're just gonna hammer it in. You could take it off if you take off this little cap and there's a bolt here and like basically take out the hub. You'll be able to take it off, but I don't got the socket at the moment, so I just cut it off instead. I'm just gonna hammer this in, the back pieces, and then I'll show you the difference on the size of the rotors, and then being on, and I'll show you from there. So here's the size difference. It's a little bit bigger, not too much, but it's a difference. It's a lot thicker. These are slotted, those are regular size, a couple meters bigger, millimeters, whatever. Yeah, so I think they look a lot better. I've always loved just straight slotted, not drilled, so I'm really happy about these. The rotors obviously just go on, just like that alone, basically. If I could do it with one hand. Always put a lug nut to hold it straight, so you can test it, see if it spins freely. As you can see, it does. So good. Now the next thing is, it's better if you put the new caliper on and have the line ready over there when you take off the brake line back there, so you can swap it out right away and without making such a big mess. And the caliper is up there. So if you guys see this little caliper, compare that to this. It's a 4-piston caliper compared to a 1-piston, so it's a pretty big difference. It's probably the easiest conversion you can do to a car, cheapest one too. I actually picked up the front calipers, front rotors, front lines, front pads, and the rear calipers only for $100, and that's everything with it except the rear rotor, rear pads and lines. So I'll just get that later on. So yeah, I'll do the rear later whenever I get the rest of it, but for now I'm just doing the front. So this is a front only video, so let's get the comparison on these two. So there's the stock one and there's the new one. Too bright. There's this new one and the stock one. Pretty big difference. So basically same thing. Back here is where the bolt goes in. Watch out for any spiders, just in case the regards fill with spider webs like mine is. Those holes go on the inside right here, and the bolt goes straight through to hold them. The same bolts you took off to take off the other caliper. So you're just gonna basically do that, but with this new one. Alright, so back here there is a little that little thingy-majig right here, this thing. You can just hammer that out with a screwdriver. Just keep them because you're going to need them after. There's going to be another one back here as well, up here. So when you take those two off, you'll have this line freely basically. And then you're going to, this is size 10. It's a hard line to a rubber line basically, I guess. I don't know. It's a hard line to a rubber line, so you're going to use a 10, loosen it up, and then take this off because this is holding it straight. And if you take this off and try to loosen it, you're going to bend the actual hard line and it might mess it up. So loosen it while this is still on, and then take this off after it's loose. You can just unscrew it, and the other one, if you got your calipers with the lines, it'll bolt up right away to it, and that's basically it. You just got to bleed the brakes after, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to take those off and loosen it up. So these are the little bracket piece I'm telling you. These just go in basically in here to hold it in. So just take those off and you'll have a free line. Well, it's kind of in there, but because of hard line, but over here it's free. So yeah, this is just a size 10. You know, just get your socket and loosen it up, whatever. It's already leaking down there, so make sure to get a rag or a cardboard to catch the fluid leaking. So now that you're done with that, you're going to be covered in brake fluid, and you would have your calipers on. Now you just put the pads in. They're just two pads that slip in with the little shims and everything, and you'll have your thing set.